Zone, hosted by the infamous and dangerous and much lied about Eric A. Cinotti. This is where public corruption, abuse of power, a waste and misabuse of public dollars, and ultimately using your personal position for gaining power and influence over others is met with extreme hostility. Otherwise, everyone else is welcome. Welcome to the Hostile Zone.
Welcome to the Hostile Zone. You're with the infamous, in your face, Eric Andrew Cinotti. Eric A. Cinotti. Who is it? Eric Cinotti. That's right. You're on the Hostile Zone. And I'm accompanied by the lovely on-air vocalist, Miss Bianca Sea.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. Bianca Sea, that's me.
Bianca Sea, that's me. Say it nice. Let's hear it.
Bianca Sea, that's me.
Wonderful. And we also have with us R-Dub, our technical extraordinaire, maybe not always so technical. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Outstanding. And
Good.
we have Richard, a.k.a. Dick for short. There he is back there. How's he doing today?
What's going on, everybody?
What's the fashion statement of the day?
Just rocking some comfy Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein. Do we get a sponsorship for that next time? Don't mention. Hey, R-Dub, you got to tell him. You can't mention brand names unless.
Stop it, Richard.
There we go. All right.
Are you
and
kidding? You can't stop that.
and where's Donut Man? Is he in the green room? I don't see him. Is he bending? Oh, I see him bending his head around there. Is Kenny back there? Do you see him? I saw her head. He's going to disappear on me?
Yeah, I think he's shoving his
Yeah,
face
all
with
right.
donuts again.
Yo, tell him he's better stay away from donuts.
I see his face. It looks like
I
he
see
has
him.
raisins
Yeah, right.
with the white stuff around his
Yeah,
nose.
right?
So funny.
Seriously, what's up with that? Stay away from the Boston
That's
creeps,
the
all right?
donuts right there.
All right, so here we are on the Hostile Zone. Let me start right off the bat. You're here with 99.9 KKTC True Country, what?
True America.
True America, baby. True country, true America. Now, with that said, you're not with the Hostile Zone if you are not having a technical disaster somewhere on my end or one of the producers on our side. However, I need to make an apology to everybody in the KKTC 99.9 True Country Angel Fire Network. Everybody in that community, we are on, what are we, R-Dub? 5 episodes now?
This will be 6.
This is episode 6. Today is the 28th day of November. I'm putting that on the record as of right now. This way, we know that, because I want you to know that, unfortunately, for whatever reason it may be, KKTC seemed to have aired the same episode 2 to 3 times, and they skipped over episode 1. So not only do we have a lost episode 1, but you heard episode 2, was it episode 2? Twice. And I don't think they even heard episode 3 or 4. We're at 5 or 6. I don't even know where we are. We are a full week's worth of Monday through Friday shows. Yet you probably heard only one episode over and over again. So, with that said, I don't want to waste good airtime having this conversation, but I want to say that all of the episodes, 1 through 5 or 6, wherever we are right now, as of November 28th, I never hit on the record on there, on the 28th, is now available. Let me fix a technical issue here that we didn't do. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Always a tech issue.
It's
there it is.
so
There it is.
contagious.
That's unbelievable.
It's so contagious.
That one was on our side of the house problem, but I took care of it. I should get paid tech money too on top, I guess. Anyway, so all of the episodes of this awesome syndicated show that also airs Monday nights on BBS Talk Radio every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern on BBS Talk Radio. You can find it on every major platform, as well as checking out the website. And it's on TuneIn and all iHeart and all the different places. So you can get the Monday night show on BBS Talk Radio from the Hostile Zone on there. You can also get all of the previous episodes from the Hostile Zone that were aired through BBS Talk Radio, and all of the KKTC episodes will be available on all of our social media, as well as the streaming platforms as well. Thank God we were able to get our people to handle that situation like that over there. Noise sound over there. Like really, seriously. Tell Kenny to open the door.
Kenny is trying to get in, I guess.
So anyway, so easily distracted here, totally destroying the show. Okay, anyway, moving forward. So I want everybody to know that that's where we are, and all the episodes will be available to you. Hopefully, when you're hearing this episode right now, that we're up to date and you would have caught up all the old episodes. If you didn't, you can check out Eric A. Cinotti, The Hostile Zone on Facebook.
Yes.
You can check The Hostile Zone on YouTube. You can also check Miss Bianca Sea, The Hostile Zone. Not all the episodes are there, but a couple are there. More recently, they'll all be streamed there as well. You can also find us on all of your streaming platforms. So I also will be, as of the morning, having all the episodes restreamed on our YouTube channel. We are not a YouTube show, but we have our shows available on Portfolio on YouTube. So this way, everybody in the KKTC community who had the misfortune of not enjoying all of the shows that we had, or missed episode 1 where we introduced ourselves, and now you don't know who we really are, or you're finding out who we are, and you heard the same episode 3 times. Now, hopefully, you'll get caught up, and we can build a relationship where I was telling you that we want to be part of your family. We're happy to be here. We want to grow with your family. We want to be part of a team, and I hope you heard that in previous episodes that unfortunately never made it to your airwaves. They'll be available. I'm going to make sure you get them.
I think we are growing on them, don't you?
I hope so. I mean, I understand that our social media has been hitting numbers, so I know that people have heard it on your stations there, but I don't really know what your numbers are. But I do know that our social media, whether it be Facebook, not so much Facebook, but more so Facebook, not so much YouTube, because we don't really push the YouTube because that's just not what we are. But it's on the social media platforms, and we do get a lot of responses, right, R-Dub? There are some there has been messages, right, in there recently.
Yes.
So we've been taking some questions and answers as they come in. So before you start pumping me, because I know you told me there's a bunch of messages in the queue waiting for Miss Bianca and myself. Let me get through now that I did the apology tour, and I wasted good time here apologizing that you missed the episodes. Hopefully, after today, we won't have that problem anymore. Apology moving forward. Let's talk about some news. All right. 3 men, Palestinian descent, were shot in Burlington, Vermont. They are in stable condition. Young men aged 20-ish, 20 years old. The man who is suspected to be the shooter is 38 years of age. I believe 38. Want to double check. 48 years of age. He was in court via video stream from the jail out there. I'm going to withhold his name. His name is not being withheld by the authorities, but I am not putting that name out on our show because I don't glorify people that do acts such as this. 48-year-old male in custody, video, first appearance in the courtroom video, no bail. He was denied bail, and the Department of Justice is investigating if this is indeed a hate crime. And whatever it is, it's a disgusting event by any means. And if it's a hate crime, it's even worse. I hope the Department of Justice carefully checks this out. If it is a hate crime, whether it's Palestinian, Israeli, Jewish, whatever you are, it's a hate crime. It's unacceptable in our country, in our world in 2023. So I want to put that piece of information out. Also, the Border Patrol has since closed down the infamously known Eagle Pass entrance into Texas. And they also have limited access into Arizona, one of the entrances in Arizona. I want to say Lukesville or something to that, Lakeville, Arizona. They have limited or restricted the access over the border into Arizona. They have shut down Eagle Pass, Texas, because they are focusing their resources onto more of the illegal crossings.
Oh.
So that's kind of news of the day. Stay with the show. Don't turn your dial. We get you some news and then we make it fun and flair. But I want to get through some important stuff.
Don't miss it.
Want to get some important stuff. So let's just stick with me there. We're going to go to entertainment. But the Border Patrol, that is kind of important to you guys out there here in our family of New Mexico area. You are an area where border crossings, and it brings issues into your neighborhood. So know that the Border Patrol has done that at those two crossings. Also, in world news, it appears that the ceasefire with Israel and Hamas has been extended 2 more days, and that there have been a large number of hostages have been released. I want to say 11 women and children. I mean, I want to make, 11 women and children have been freed, and they have been held captive, believe it or not, for 7 weeks.
Wow,
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
7 weeks held captive. And just recently, as of today, right before the show, so maybe we'll get into it tomorrow night, they actually, it's been a good interview with a woman that was talking about the conditions back there. I do want to say that Qatar has become the great mediator of the Middle East.
Has he?
Well, that's the country. The country of Qatar. The country. Qatari, the Qatari airport, the country of Qatar. I hope I know you were just fine.
I know.
Qatar has become the great mediator of the Middle East, and we are all very happy and glad that Qatar has stepped up as a country to assist in this process to help mitigate the tensions and the pain and suffering between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and help to quell Hamas from their future activities. And since we're having a 2-day additional of the 4-day already, 2 more days of a ceasefire that they have brokered, maybe, fingers crossed, everybody, there'll be some more hostages released. I pray and hope that is the case.
Yes, release more hostages.
I mean, and then hopefully during those additional days, they'll be able to get some humanitarian aid and et cetera into the Palestinian people who are suffering as well. Obviously, they live there in Gaza Strip, the Gaza area, and they are not members of Hamas. Not all these people are in that category. They live there, and these people are suffering from war, and they need aid. They need relief. So hopefully these additional 2 days will allow some relief to come in there. On a continual national, on a world news front, Pope Francis is currently receiving IV treatment, antibiotics for an inflammation in his lungs. That would be the Pope, the Vatican in Italy, Rome, Italy. They report that his condition is well. We pray for you. We hope the Pope is doing well and he gets well fast. I know that they have been very instrumental in helping with brokering deals and offering aid in these conflicts as well. They put religion aside as well, which I think everybody should, as we here at the Hostile Zone do. We put religion aside. So Pope Francis, we wish you the best. He's on IV antibiotics. That was our world news conversation. I also want to talk about a little bit of local news or U.S. news, and then a little something for you in New Mexico. This way we bring it local, and then we're just going to hit the topics. We're going to go wild.
Are we?
All right. So Ohio has now passed constitutional protections for abortion. We all know the situation that the abortion rules have changed in the United States. So we're in a post Roe v. Wade era, and Ohio has constitutional protections for an individual's right to choose whether they wish to carry or abort, and that it was overwhelmingly by 57% supported in the state of Ohio. So that is a little bit of U.S. news. Maybe that'll lead for dialogue here on abortion. We're not going to give you an opinion on the hostile zone. As for the legal discussion on that, I will give you the brief and to the point, or we would say give you the brief and to the point. Basically, I guess I was going to get stupid and get really crazy with a legal term, but forget it. It's the brief. The brief is that we are in a post-Roe v. Wade era. Roe v. Wade was the landmark Supreme Court case that basically people get this one confused and they don't understand really what the case was. Roe and Wade. Roe is a name, not the person's name, and Wade is Wade County, Texas, and that was the case that this individual, who was the person that took the case, wanted to have an abortion, and the state of Texas did not allow that at the time, Wade County, and she sued, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, not the state court, not the Supreme Court of the state, but to the U.S. Supreme Court, creating the landmark decision Roe v. Wade, Roe being the fictitious name that was put down, and Wade being Wade County, Texas. And that basically, so people that understand the legal aspect to this, professorially, obviously we're not dispensing legal advice to anybody here. We're just having a legal conversation as a professorial conversation, as an educational conversation. So legally, what this means was that Roe v. Wade basically made it the law of the land that abortion must be across the board. So basically, prior to Roe v. Wade, it was illegal in Texas to have an abortion. But let's just say, and I don't know offhand the states, and I'm not going to quote them, but if one place was illegal to have an abortion in one state, but it was legal in, let's say, New Jersey, right?
Right.
Well, then it was not equal, because it was not, for let's say, the argument was that if you could not afford to get to a state where it was legal, then you were then being deprived your right to have an abortion because of your socioeconomic status or whatever reason that you couldn't get there. But Roe v. Wade basically said it's either going to be illegal across the board and nobody has abortions, or every state must equally offer an abortion. It would be similar to, and again, I'm not making comparison, and we're going to move on. And then I'm going to give you where we are today. Basically, Roe v. Wade, and to make it in very layman's terms, and don't bot me. I don't want emails. I don't want anybody. I'm just making it very simplistic. It would be like if you had a New Mexico driver's license, or a California driver's license, or a New Jersey driver's license, or whatever, and you went to the border and you crossed into Arizona, and they said your license is no good here anymore. You can't drive. Now, if you were to live there in that new state, then yes, you must follow the law of that state, unless if you're military or some other exemption. But you would need to have the license of that state. But otherwise, we are a nation, and we don't have borders as in they do in other countries, where when you cross a border, it's a whole new country, technically. Your driver's license in California allows you to drive to New Jersey with that license, and you can drive back. Well, Roe v. Wade said you're either going to have abortion or you're not. So if you're going to have abortion legal in New Jersey, then it ought to be legal in Texas and in Arizona and New Mexico and across the board. Now, in a Roe v. Wade post era, now it's back to where it kind of was prior, where each individual state will make its own decision whether they wish to have abortion and what restrictions and rules and stuff and parameters of abortion they want to have. Whereas some states will have an abortion up into X amount of months, and I'm not going to get into who does and who doesn't, That could be a segment for another show. But that's
I
not.
wouldn't even want to know because
You don't want to know,
I
and you
don't
know,
wanna know,
and you know, I don't. And this is, I don't. We don't want to go hot topic like that, especially if you've missed episode 1 through 4 or 5, and this is the first one you're getting because they didn't air all the right episodes. Then I threw you. Then you hate us because that's what we're talking about, and that is what I really didn't want to happen. So please, out there, don't change your FM dial. Listen in. This is not what this show is about. I'm just discussing this instance because it's a breaking news in the United States. So moving past that, in a post era, each state will make its own decision on how they want to handle abortion.
Oh, good to know.
Now, for our local listeners in New Mexico on KKTC 99.9, your governor, Governor Grisham, has now formally appointed to permanent position from interim secretary of Youth and Family and Children Services to a permanent secretary position. So prior to that, the position was being filled on an interim basis, and apparently the position was being handled very well, and now is a permanent. For people that don't understand government process, interim is a temporary appointment, and then a permanent appointment is now you have your term of whatever years you're going to be. Really, at the end of the day, in public administratively, does it really mean much? Not really, because the governor can fire you, take you out of office, regardless whether you're interim or permanent. But interim means you're kind of floating around and your name isn't really on the letterhead, and there's a lot of budgetary issues and what you're going to hire and fire and as the secretary or the director. So the governor of New Mexico has now appointed this woman, to be your permanent person in this position. Good luck to her. I understand you've done a wonderful job. I have a passion for children and families, so I'm very happy that you have somebody who loves this position and is doing a great job. Good luck to you. I wish you well. So moving into all of those wonderful things, what would you like to add, Miss Bianca Sea, in the entertainment world?
In the entertainment world, well,
I know they missed all our other episodes, so we had a lot of stuff.
have a
You
lot
really,
to
if you're
catch
just
up
catching us
with.
tonight, you need to go back and check out the other ones. We had some good stuff about Will Smith and about a lot of stuff, which
Speaking
I
of
think you would
the
enjoy.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they had a photo together during Thanksgiving.
Did they really?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
all I know so far. I haven't gotten really into it, but okay,
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
it's a hit or miss with them. You never know if they're like enemies at one point or together frenemies.
Frenemies, right?
Frenemies.
ARW, you ever heard of that, frenemies?
I believe it means friend enemies.
I believe you're
That would
correct.
be correct.
Okay.
I'm sure Richard knows too.
Yeah,
There's
hey,
always a lot of
Richard,
friends.
short dick for short. Are you aware of a frenemy?
I mean, I always thought it was like somebody that you were friends with to their face, but didn't like them behind their back.
That is a very good
true.
explanation. I like that. So the combination of R-Dub and Richard, or Dick for short, whatever, that's a good conversational piece. And if you are tuning in tonight, check a previous episode. We had a whole conversation about Will Smith and the things that were said about him and his experiences on set for previous shows, and his experience with his wife, and the whole on stage fiasco of talking about his wife and smacking Chris Rock. We had a lot of interesting conversation. I just feel like this episode is at such a disadvantage, and we put such forth strong effort, all of us, the whole team. Miss Bianca Sea sang some wonderful notes for you guys to see her vocal prowess, word of the day. And, I just feel like if you're tuning in now, go back. I implore you to check out the other ones and check it out on the different places I told you. You can watch us live as well, not just hearing us on the radio, whether you're hearing it on 99.9, you can catch it on iHeart. You can get it streamed on all social media sites that have to do with the hostile zone. We are a syndicated talk show, TV, radio talk show. So we have this is your edition for you and KKTC, but we also have the other editions that are around the country. So feel free to check out all of the episodes. But with this one, it's catered a little bit to you. I just want you to not, I feel like we're coming at you hard and you don't really know who we are because, you weren't afforded that wonderful opportunity to get episode 1 through 5.
This is the hostile zone. Of course, we're going to be
in your face. Right, there we go. There we go. I'm hostile.
In your face, and we're coming at your heart.
I'm coming at you live right here. Okay, so what else?
Speaking of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, I was going to say, you know what? Everybody has a different type of marriage, as Carrie Bradshaw always said.
Carrie Bradshaw, help our listeners out. Hey, wait. R-Dub. Who is Carrie Bradshaw? There you go. That's why you got to tell everybody. I bet you Richard knows.
No clue.
You never watched Sex in the City?
Sex in the City.
Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City?
Sex and the City.
Right. I always thought it was Sex in the City. Being from that area, I was like, well, everybody has sex in the city.
Well, I was going to say.
Anyway, go on with Carrie Bradshaw.
As Carrie Bradshaw.
See, we get funny fresh with you guys. It's not all about hardcore news. We bring it back and forth.
Yeah, as Carrie Bradshaw said, see, everyone has a different type of marriage.
Now, when was that? What episode was that? Was that with her and Big? Because, I know the show a little bit.
Oh,
I'm an HBO fan.
That was in one, I think, Sex in the City 2 movie.
The movie. Okay, right. It's funny. You were talking to me about Sex in the City, and then I have some experience with HBO myself.
I grew up to that show.
And and with my acting career as well, I've had some experience with these different people. And
every girl always wanted.
And just like that came out, it was HBO. I've been on set for Sex in the City and Sopranos. And stuff.
Yes, you told me.
And I was a fan, and plus I've been at the Law and Order site places, and I was a fan of Big. And what they do, they killed them off. So I never wanted to see just like that.
No, he had a heart attack.
All right, he had a heart attack. They killed him off. I'm sure. I don't know what the reason was. There a real reason for? I mean, did he not want to be on the show? I mean, I would have watched it. But now I have no interest because I liked him.
Oh.
So then, other than that, it's not a show for me.
I still continue watching.
You do know the show R-Dub, though, right? You know the show Sex in the City, right? And the City or whatever.
I think I've seen it before.
Well, good. What do you know?
Well, but what I mean by seen it, I mean like see the title for it on streaming platforms.
Do we need to do the warhead test with you right now? He hid them. We have here, hand me one for our viewers. We have here one of the original, these are the warheads, right?
Is that coming from Halloween candy?
Yeah, this is Halloween candy here. These are these wonderful tasting. I can't really say what I want to call it. No.
Oh.
What I want to call it, but put it like this.
I can describe it as a funny face about to explode.
It's like a warhead or something like that. I don't know the name of it. Don't say the name, the direct name. But the bottom line is, to my listeners and viewers, this is the candy. When you put it in your mouth, your eyes immediately start to close, even if you don't want them to close. And my mouth is overwatering as I'm talking to you, thinking about the taste of it in my mouth, where your mouth flows like a shower with water because it's trying to push out the taste. We have a whole box of those for R-Dub every time he has a tech screw up. And I think we may just on the air have you start eating them one at a time. Moving forward, have you tasted one?
I don't believe I have.
I believe we're going to have one right now on the air.
Oh, no.
Open it up. I'll unpackage it for you.
Oh, such a
Do you
gentleman.
mind if my fingers are on it, or is that going to upset you?
No, it's fine.
And doesn't even want to. I have to use my teeth to cut it.
Can I do it?
Oh, boy.
Here you go. Let Miss Bianca do it this way. If it's saliva, it's hers and not mine. Okay.
Let's see.
It's not. You're going to need your teeth. Yep. Airtime's being wasted here. Pop it with your teeth.
OMG.
OMG. OMG.
Oh my God.
All right. While Miss Bianca Sea is doing that, I do want to tell another story about a U.S. story right now.
Got
Okay,
it.
well, let me finish the story, and then I'm gonna tell the story while it's in your mouth. Hand it to him.
Okay.
Here you go,
Well,
R-Dub.
look, I didn't even have to touch it.
Make sure you stay close to the mic.
There you go.
Put that, and you cannot spit it out.
You're really trying to kill me.
Yes, I am. Woo! Woo-hoo! Yes.
OMG. Let's go.
What flavor is it supposed to be? Read
his
it off.
face is already-
What flavor? He's looking at his face because you know what it's going to be like. What flavor?
It's watermelon.
It's watermelon. The mouth is, I assure you, your mouth will water.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. And it's in.
Let's see. He's
Oh, I see. Oh, I see his eyes. There it
Oh.
goes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
His eyes.
Oh, talk.
Oh, he's turning
How do people eat these?
Keep it in your mouth. I'm going to keep telling the story, and we're going to go to R-Dub every couple of seconds for a conversation. So,
red.
with a little bit of more U.S. News. Interestingly enough, Portland, Oregon has begun. How's it feel? Has begun to dismantle the homeless encampments. And
Really?
yeah, everybody had been following where
Crazy.
the homeless people had been living on the streets and encampments and etc. Portland has begun. How's it feel? Good?
The sour is a little bit gone. Now it's kind of sweet.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
So anyway,
Sweet.
they have begun to dismantle the encampments in Portland, Oregon, which I find an interesting part, Miss Bianca,
Okay.
is that they've had these encampments for quite a while where homeless people are living in tents and sleeping bags and etc. And there's some video footage of them dismantling these places and now saying basically, that our public streets are not a home, But how we doing, R-Dub? Is it better now? It's like
Do you
Braille
need
candy now?
water?
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
All right, good. But it was pretty bad, right? So if I give you like 4 or 5 on tomorrow's show at the same time, and if you're at home and you can think of a better combination, maybe like those jelly beans where you mix things, feel free to reach out to the show and let us know. R-Dub would be happy to eat and taste anything live on the show for you.
I really wouldn't.
He works for me,
I will
ladies
do
and
it
gentlemen.
for the viewers.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
Aw.
he is a union apprentice and he's trying to get his earn his stripes, if you will, in the industry. So yes, he has plenty of fun antics to provide you. And since you missed out on multiple episodes, he may have to catch up and really show you what he's all about. So anyway, what I found interesting about this, Miss Bianca, about the dismantling of the homeless encampments, on a very serious note, is everybody's got a different view on what to do with homeless people, and it is a very touchy subject. It's a very sad situation. Nobody should be homeless in this day and age in America. I mean, if you watch my other show, pay attention. We had a show live on Monday night prior to the show that aired yesterday. That was episode 2 for the 3rd time. We did have yesterday's Monday show. Check it out. We talked about America and how great we are here as Americans and what we have. Nobody should be homeless in this country.
Yeah, I don't think nobody should be homeless. You're absolutely correct about that.
And I am not for overreach of government. I am not for the abuse and waste of tax dollars. I do believe in a safety net. The government is a safety net. It is not a safety structure underneath somebody. It's a safety net to catch you if you fall and help prop you back up and help you along your way. It's not a safety structure. It's a net.
Don't ever give up on people. And sadly, those people.
Somebody gave up on them, and maybe they gave up on themselves, And your lowest moment could be your best moment in life, honestly. Your lowest moment could be your finest moment. So please don't ever feel when you have your low moment. You learn from your faults. If anybody knows, listen to any of my shows, anybody knows, I know from making mistakes and falling and getting hit and making poor choices on things. We all make decisions and we make choices, and maybe they are right, maybe they're wrong, but they are for a reason and they make you a better person. And I'm not saying it's good that you're homeless. Obviously, that's a problem. But where I wanted to go with this, I didn't want to go off on a whole thing, but what I found to be oddly interesting, and maybe our viewers and listeners will feel the same way, is they utilized contractors to dismantle the encampments, like literally taking down tents, taking fences apart, moving things around. They use contractors. So my question is the obvious. Who are these contractors? Were any of them possibly a homeless person so they could be employed and make some money, so they could get some payroll or some experience, or put some money in their pocket for food and a place to stay and something? I don't know. And I'm not making any accusations because I don't truly know.
Wouldn't that be dangerous for that person, that those people that would dismantle?
Well,
You
no,
never
I saw
know.
that they had law enforcement out there. Now, mind you, this is the city that had the whole law enforcement fiasco, that they wanted to not have police respond to calls, and they wanted to have social workers show up on 911 calls, and they blockaded streets, and then they when there was a fire, they didn't want to let the fire department in, but then they wanted the fire department. There was a whole bunch of back and forth and up and down, left and right. Who knows? I
guess
really
they're
know.
testing it out.
I don't really know all the ins and outs. I mean, I do know the ins and outs, but I don't remember, and I don't want to be botted and trolled. So I don't want to cite anything on air that I don't have in front of me, the exact statistic. I love to talk, but see, the problem is in 2023, in 2021, when apparently I only started being existent at 21, then everybody wants to just jot down every single thing you say and then fact check everything. Well, you know what? No one's trying to intentionally provide you false information. They're just talking, and apparently talking points, you have to have specific numbers. So I don't want to cite. When I said, like in Ohio about abortion, when I said 57%, I was very sure that that's the number. So I'm going to tell you on the show here, if you're a new listener and you weren't afforded all the prior episodes, check them out so you can learn about who I am and who Miss Bianca Sea is and the rest of my staff, what we're about. But I don't want to be trolled or botted. So I know a lot of the fiasco that went on in Portland, in that area. And there was a lot of stuff going on around the country. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of stuff going on around the country in all kinds of issues, regardless of whatever race, gender, or whatever you were, or your position was. There was somebody arguing on that end of it, regardless.
Well, I hope that the people that they took off the streets, I hope they at least directed them to like a starter.
I would hope.
Group
right.
home or something, because most of the time, some of those people can't even help themselves.
Right. Right. And another city. Go if you want to check out some stuff online. Check out the footage of what's going on in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is having some tremendous homeless and drug issues right now. So I'm not just highlighting, Portland, Oregon on their situation, but they are attempting to clean the streets, or clean the streets in the sense of getting because it was human excrement and waste and etc. on the road and on the streets that people So I mean, this is an unsanitary situation for even those homeless people. It's not sanitary.
Like a lot of businesses, they shun those people away, even to use a bathroom. Where else would they?
Right. I remember speaking of that. I mean, during the whole Occupy Wall Street movement, if you remember back when that was a little bit back, I actually went, being I'm from that area, not far from there. I went down to check it out. And I went down to there, and I saw firsthand, and I checked the whole thing out. I talked to law enforcement. I talked to people, or let's say I attempted to talk to people that were in the Occupy movement, but they were not too open to have conversation with me for whatever reason it may be. Let's just say the local businesses and law enforcement and fire department, EMS, they were more willing to have a conversation. I did not go down there as a journalist or a commentary person or anything like that. Just went down as a person. I dressed normal, and I wanted to see myself what I saw on TV.
Oh.
And
And
I'd say,
is that
no pun
extreme?
intended, people were hostile towards me when I asked them why they were there. I
Mm.
honestly wanted to know why they were there, what their feelings were. They were hostile towards me. But to get to your point,
Now, was it exactly how it
it
was
was,
on,
it
or
was,
was it
it
exaggerated?
was exactly what I saw. There was human waste on the ground.
Oh
It
no.
smelled. It was a disaster. Parking, traffic, and the businesses. That's where I wanted to get to what you were talking about a minute ago.
Mhm.
I went to a pizza joint, a pizzeria, pizza joint, pizza place, whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
which was across the street from the park.
Oh.
And is there something up?
Oh no.
So don't get into that.
Oh.
So if there was a pizzeria across the street from the park, and I went into the pizzeria, and the pizzeria, so I mean, I was dressed normal, but I needed to use the restroom, but I actually was buying pizza. And the
Mhm.
guy was like, "Oh, well, if you weren't buying pizza, we weren't gonna let you use the restroom." And I was buying pizza anyway, but it was exactly to where you were going with that point, you know, that at the end of the day, like this guy, I actually started talking to him. You know,
Mhm.
I actually got pizza. You know, I talk to people. I like to
Of
talk to
course.
people,
Yes.
which again makes people want to bot me and troll me, right? Right, R-Dub? I like to talk. I like to have a conversation.
That is correct.
That is correct.
You're
I
a
like to
social
know. I'm a
butterfly.
social butterfly. I want to know. People getting offended. I ask questions. I say things. I'm not trying to offend you. I want to learn. I want to know. So while having my pizza, I asked this gentleman who owned this pizza place
Okay. So,
what actually he was his issue, and he said basically it was costing him money because nobody was buying pizza because they were in Occupy Wall Street. Everybody wanted to use his restroom. No business, nobody could come in to get pizza because you couldn't really get to drive up there. There was no way to park, and nobody wanted to come walk around that nightmare. And only people like me that actually came to see what was going on might actually buy pizza. So it cost them money, and
oh
and
wow.
you know it was kind of like what you said, the restroom issue.
Mhm.
So I hope that Portland is doing something with this situation. I mean, I wish them the best. I don't want to see people on the street, but I also don't want to see public dollars thrown in the garbage and situations not handled appropriately. So I know what do you got. What else do you have on entertainment? Do you have anything over there for us, R Dub? You good with that? How's that candy treating you over there?
I finished it a while ago.
Are you trying to get tough with me right now? Because I will make you eat the entire bag of these things right now.
Oh,
No,
Well,
actually, no, we're going to save it for another show. This way, when the listeners start paying attention, like they get to
just a
see
little
all the shows.
sample.
Please, if you're listening or you're watching, reach out to us. R Dub would love to taste, eat, lick, or anything you want him to do. He'll be happy to do for you, right?
that is correct.
Oh
There you
my
go.
goodness.
He's open for season. He's open for the game. Whatever you want him to do, we'll send him out to you on the street. You can go, whatever you want.
What is he
Let
getting
us know.
himself into?
Let us
Oh
know what you do,
boy.
R Dub. So anyway, so do we have any other entertainment related stuff that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, speaking of entertainment, the happiest place on earth.
Which would be R Dub. What is the happiest place on earth? The hostile zone. No, I'm kidding. What is it?
Disneyland?
Disney
Yeah,
World.
Disneyland
Disney
was
Land or
World.
world?
It was land.
It was land. Okay. No,
Mhm.
it says world.
Mm.
Oh, it's a small world. Okay. I don't know. Oh, it's up. I misread. But I'm a Disney World guy. All right. I'm not from California, but anyway, Disney World is bigger. But okay, Disneyland. I'm sorry, Miss Bianca Sea. Bianca Sea, SEA with the ocean. Like I got my hand moving like a mermaid. There we go.
There
So
you
you gotta
go.
tell us the story.
Well, it seemed that there was a little on the ride was this. It's a small world after all. I've
Uh-huh.
been there. I think a lot of people have. If you ever go,
Right.
that's one of the classic
Right.
rides.
Right.
All of a sudden, when the ride is not going and it has a stop.
Doesn't that ride, if I recall, actually from Disney World, doesn't that ride actually stop
It does
at different
sometimes.
sections so you can see things on purpose, or
Yeah, sometimes, if there's technical difficulties or
Right.
something, they would stop the ride for a moment, but then it continues. And you're supposed to, like, stay in your seats when they tell you to.
Right. Keep your
And
hands
yeah,
and
keep your
feet
feet
inside
inside,
the whatever. Right.
and
Okay.
take a moment or so like
Right.
that announcement. And I guess somebody was impatient and said, you know what? Let me just take off my clothes and go streaking in the,
They went
place.
streaking. So R-Dub, speaking of streaking,
And it was a 26-year-old male that
I wanted to ask R-Dub
did
if
it.
he even knew what streaking was.
Well, of course.
Have you streaked?
No.
Is Mama listening?
Hopefully not.
Okay. So R-Dub, what is streaking?
Running around naked.
Okay. So now go on. Tell us who this individual was.
Yeah, he was.
Don't put out any names because we don't do that.
You know what? They didn't even give a name.
Okay.
But all I know is he's 26, and all of a sudden he just started disrobing, and some people were telling him, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. It's dangerous."
Right, dangerous. Forget. How about the little girls and little boys that are in
It's so
there?
sad, and it was like all of a sudden he goes and plays around with the little small people bots, and then all of a sudden he just like start.
Or no?
No, but he said he was under influence, but
Drug involved. Right.
something,
Right,
but they didn't.
yeah, right.
They were not specific of what he was under.
I wonder if they served him at in any of the bars or restaurants there.
But I guess it's a small world after all. I guess it really was a small world.
Was it a small world? Ask Richard. Was it a small world?
So small.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The small world, after all, lived up to its name.
Yes, and all of a sudden, he just automatically got escorted out by people. They tried to.
I saw the video. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried covering him with a blanket, but sadly, that wasn't a successful thing because they carried him in all fours.
They dragged him.
They dragged him out of the place, and it is what it is, and
right.
he's no longer.
And here's the interesting part of it. Did he get a Disney shirt to cover? Did they cover him up with a Disney shirt? Because if he did, I hope when he's in jail, he gets a bill from Disney for the shirt. Because that's no way to get a free shirt.
Now he's
or towel or hat
officially banned from any Disney property, I believe.
I would hope so.
Of course.
I would hope so. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you know that is factual from the entertainment side that we can put out?
That is all for today.
All for today, right. All right, so moving forward, there has been all kinds of stuff going on. I understand that the Rockettes are back up and moving in New York City. Those of you that are a fan of the Christmas Spectacular.
I love the
At
Rockettes.
Radio City Music Hall. The Rockettes are back in action as of the 18th of November, I believe the 18th. They are back in action. Having been to Radio City myself, I can tell you it is a family fun event for everybody. It is a wonderful Christmas experience. Every child deserves that opportunity. Hopefully, if you can't afford to go there, because it is very expensive, it's a trip. I understand. We talked about staycations. If you watch previous episode, there are opportunities to view this online. It's a great show. It really is. It's a family nourishing show without any outside influence of anything that you don't want your family around. It's just one of those things that you can go to and enjoy, and you can kind of just forget about the world and just kind of enjoy.
Some families do it for go to that show as a tradition every year too.
It is a good tradition. It's become a little expensive, like anything. If you watch one of the other shows, we were talking about, how the price of fuel across the country, the fuel cost, the cost of a barrel of crude oil into the United States is become expensive. R-Dub quoted out some numbers in a previous episode, and all of those things. You might say, well, how does a barrel of crude oil equate to the ticket sales at Radio City? And you say, well, a barrel of crude oil is going to create X amount of gallons of gasoline or diesel fuel. And Radio City, everything in any business anywhere operates what you need to get supply and demand. Those people need to get to work, whether it's mass transit or their personal vehicle. The lights on the buildings need to be turned on. The equipment needs to be transported, parking, everything that operates that entire show is operated through something that was transported on the highway or through fossil fuel electricity, whatever form of electricity or whatever was delivered and brought back was utilized through gasoline, fuel of some sort, whether it be jet fuel or diesel fuel, whatever. Everything kind of surrounds that. It's kind of, it may sound kind of crazy, but it really, that's where I bring in the global perspective to you that gasoline actually, the gasoline price actually makes a big difference, not just to you as the consumer in your traveling and getting to and from A and B and enjoying time with your family and whatever, but it actually raises the price for everything. When you go buy a donut at the donut store that Kenny's eating back there, the donut dough and the water that got to the donut shop and the dough that got to the donut shop and the people that got there to work it, everything had to be transported there through some sort of fuel.
Very true.
But the Rockettes is a very, very good show. It's not called the Rockettes, but the Rockettes are like the highlight of the show, I guess. But it's Radio City Music Hall, a wonderful, wonderful venue for those of you that have not been out there. But I hope that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you missed it, we're going to give it to you now. R-Dub, give us that famous turkey sound. We had tons of emails. Oh, do we have time for one? You said you had a bunch in the queue. You have anything there in the queue real quick so we can get somebody before somebody gets upset or no?
Well, sadly, we did get a comment about what I should eat on the show sometime.
Really? What was that? Tell us. We'll plan that for tomorrow.
What was that?
A habanero pepper.
Oh, I like it. Actually, whoever sent that, respond back. I want to get you one of them ghost ones. That's even higher, isn't it? I think I've seen somebody eat that before and they like fall on the floor. Send us that. Reach out to us. Send us the hottest thing you could find. New Mexico, I'm sure you guys have something that will burn R-Dub's mouth. We'll film it. We'll put it live. Everybody will enjoy it. We'll have a great time.
I'm half Puerto Rican. I do not like anything spicy like that.
Well, hey, that's what we're here for. It's hostile in your face on the hostile zone. How much time we have, R-Dub?
About 2.5 minutes.
Do we have time for anything else, or is Miss Bianca Sea going to take us out with pride and joy and love and honor?
I did want to throw one thing out there.
Throw it away.
Maybe kind of a new segment that we can start by doing a Hero of the Week.
I like it. I like it. Talk to me.
So I read earlier today about a Texas mother who fights off of a pit bull that was trying to attack her 2-year-old toddler.
I read that. Yes, I like it. I like it.
The child, he's okay. He's said to be suffering from some psychological trauma, and he had a physical bite injury to his stomach.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I hope that he gets well soon. Outstanding job to Mom out there for stepping up. I like the idea in the group meeting. I like the idea of Hero of the Day. They can go for another second because you know what? They missed the episode. So I like that segment. We talk in the group meeting. Let's talk about it further. I also want to say that we will be having a live line and a text number to be reaching out to the show. You can get us also. You can see us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Eric A. Cinotti, The Hostile Zone, The Hostile Zone. You can find us on every single platform. Apple, and it'll be on iHeart. It'll be on Odyssey. It'll be on Amazon, Audible. I mean, is there anything I missed? I mean, there's more of them that are out there. Podtail, Podbean. I mean, God, I could go down. I can't remember them all, but they're everywhere. Is there one of them? Spotify. You know, I mean, yeah, I'll even, well, I don't want to say, if you listen to old episode, I don't want to name the name of gadgets because apparently I turned on people's devices at home when they played it. But you can hear all of that on there. But you also, in the meantime, you can reach me at ericandrewcinotti.com. Eric@ericandrewcinotti.com. You can check out ericcinotti.com. You can get me at Facebook, Eric A. Cinotti, The Hostile Zone, Miss Bianca Sea, or just Bianca Sea, SEA, like the ocean. We do not generally try to respond to social media messages. Check us out on YouTube. Also, we're not a YouTuber, but you can see the old shows. Miss Bianca Sea is going to give you a lovely rendition of the national anthem, and then we're going to close it out. Do I need to unplug this mic, R-Dub, or are we good to go all the way?
Should be good to go all the way.
All right, let's check it out. We always have technical issues. You might be eating extra candy tomorrow if it doesn't work out.
Okay.
That's a dirty mic.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets the bombs bursting in the air through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner that wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow. And as always, from the Hostile Zone, from Cinotti to you, love your friends, love your family, and always love your country as hard as you can. Love America. God bless America. We love you, New Mexico. Take us out with our closing.
Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice, let it be heard. Use your voice, Cinotti hears you. Use your voice. Use your voice, Cinotti heard you. Use your voice.
That's right. Cinotti heard you.